All right, what's up, Bird Dub Nation? Going live again here on an off day. Well, not strictly an off day. It was a practice day for our Warriors, but an off day in terms of games for the fandom like ourselves. And what we do usually on these off days is we post some kind of other live stream, and that's what I'm doing. So if you're on Instagram, I'm going to engage in the comments first on YouTube, then I'll come back to Instagram, but maybe by then you'll be gone. I'm not sure. But yeah, everything we do is primarily on YouTube. And I've got my laptop here. We're going to pull up the game from the other night against the Lakers on my laptop. And we're going to go through note by note, and let me pull up the back screen so you can see some of my notes from the game, and then we'll go from there step by step, with the primary focus on Quinten Post again. I think it's important because oh man, I just lost my screen, because Quinten adds another dimension to the team. And I really think that I know that the Warriors are having trouble with offense. They're like in the bottom 5 on offense the last couple weeks. And so that's why Buddy Hield has been starting. But when you lean towards shooting in your starting 5, couldn't you theoretically start Quinten Post instead? So then Trayce comes off the bench, and then now you can go with maybe Brandon Podziemski at the 2, someone who can jumpstart the team right from the get-go, better than, say, Buddy Hield has. What's up from the Netherlands? Oh, it's an honor. Wow, we had someone from the Netherlands here. Perfect, because obviously QP is Dutch. Did you get a chance to listen to Block Party? Let me hit you back on that. Have you seen the podcast from Block Party? It's in Dutch. You might like it, actually. Anyway. Oh, but first, every time I do this, I need to explain who the hell am I? What are my qualifications on this? So on and so forth. So if you go to YouTube, you'll see in the back screen that I'm going to put up a couple pictures. But first, let me find the notes from the Laker game. Let's save that here. Yeah. So this will have all my play-by-play notes, and we'll refer to it and kind of go through it all night. Now it's going to be a long, arduous process, because anytime you're looking at film, I've got to go find this particular place. So this is a live stream, so it's you have to jump on the wagon and go through the entire process with me. I hope to do an abbreviated version of this, which I've already got the last 2 film studies ready to go. We did one, Guy Santos against Minnesota. I'm 80% done with that one. Really 67% done with that one. I've got Quinten Post against Chicago, I think it was. And that one is 80% done. All right. So who am I? I am Rich with Let's Go Warriors. Been doing this, have this channel really since 2010. One of my first credentials was Team USA. And I was one of the few people at the time that filmed Blake Griffin do the off-the-wall dunk. It got featured on ESPN. That was cool. It's got like over 1 million views overall. So that was really nice. And then segued that into, well, prior to that, I was doing like Jeremy Lin highlights, if anybody remembers, on this channel, which wasn't called Let's Go Warriors back then. And then I transitioned it over to Let's Go Warriors. Already had kind of a basketball audience. And then using all these credentials, I started to go to every practice, every morning shoot around, every pregame interview, every game, every postgame. So thanks to the Warriors, thanks to Raymond Ritter back in 2013. Actually, my first credential with the Warriors was 2009 with Golden State of Mind. And then I went to China with one Wardell, Stephen Curry right here. Not with them, but I was there to follow them around. And this was 2013. Andre Iguodala just joined the team, etc. And yeah, I don't even have like video of that because that's like 2013. People didn't do that. People didn't videotape the interview right there. But then I started doing it in the locker room, and more and more. I got to find that video. It's got to be somewhere, Andre Iguodala, because my first video officially in the locker room at Oracle was with Kent Bazemore. So it was kind of nice that this is a picture of me and Steph, my only selfie with him after 15 years of being on the beat. And then a couple days after this, Kent Bazemore hopped on our live, if you guys can remember that. I went live straight from T-Mobile Arena. And that was my last one. I had told Steph, I'm not chasing you guys around the world anymore. I'm going to focus on honestly, on reinforcing and teaching Warriors fans how to be high vibrational. And to do that, I'm lucky because I got to follow this team for a decade. And in doing so, you kind of feel like you're part of the team. I haven't told Steve Kerr that day. I actually haven't told the story a whole bunch to our regulars. About a day before this last goodbye with Steph, I bumped into Steve Kerr after he was done interviewing, and I said, "Yo, Steve, I'm leaving the beat. I'm retiring from the beat, but I wanted to thank you because you actually made me feel like I was part of the team." One time at practice, see what would happen is in Chase Center, in the basement at Oracle Performance Center, the practice facility, you could film a couple guys shooting around, all that. And one of my infamous ones was with Klay Thompson, and then he yelled at me to say, "Don't film me," because he was in one of those moods. And but anyways, you could film. This wasn't the same day, and but the interview room is all the way, and you can't cut through the players. Hell no, are you media allowed to cut through the weight room upstairs by the locker room? No, you got to go all the way around, right? So I noticed Steve and Raymond actually start walking up the stairs, and I didn't want to miss the interview. I wanted to record that, which I did somewhere on our channel. So I got the last bit of, we could only film like 2 minutes each. Started jogging, started running through the back all the way around. You have to go all the way to the tunnel right by where they on TV they show where they go just us and they run out. You have to go by there to the Bill King interview room. And right when I got there, Steve had been talking to Raymond about something, and I run in and I'm like jogging by, and I'm like, oh cool, like I didn't miss anything. And when I go in, Steve gives me a pat on the back, like I was part of the team. It felt kind of good. I told him that. In Vegas. He goes, oh yeah, I don't remember any of those things, but thanks. He thanked me. He thanked me for saying that he made me feel like I was part of the team, and he's thanking me. I'm thinking, no, thank you. And that's what I want to exude. I think that is the best way to consume Warriors content. I don't think it's, sitting at home, doom scrolling and thumb typing your life away, complaining. Like, I'm here to remind you what it's like to actually be behind the scenes and kind of like the 19th man on the team. I say that all the time on this channel. 19th man, you got 15 NBA roster slots, 3 more two-way spots. Obviously, we've only filled 14 out of the 15, 2 out of the 3. Therefore, the math says we're the 17th man, actually. But I want to teach you guys how to be the 17th man, because that's way more enriching than what anybody else is doing out there. And I feel bad for everybody else. I honestly feel like they're missing out and they don't even know it. But anyways, good to have Catherine here. And yeah, go check that out. Our Bell's in the house. Sorry about your Buffalo Bills, man. I was rooting for them, but now I got to root for Mahomes. I can't be rooting for Philly. In fact, I don't know why my sorry Instagram, it wasn't connected to my Wi-Fi. Sadly. iPhone Wi-Fi is so unreliable. It took about 5 seconds longer than it should have. Okay, so we're about to go dive into the X's and O's of really Quinten Post. See all these notes? I'm just going to look for Quinten Post ones, and I want to determine, should Quinten be a starter? Because based on my eye test, although it was an eye test without really going back to look at the film, I think he should start. I think he's good enough on defense. Disruptive enough on defense is really the word. And now I'm looking at Arbel's comment one more time. I don't think Niners fans should be rooting against Mahomes. You should be rooting for Mahomes, because then Mahomes will have beaten Philadelphia twice. Like, it's funny to me how emo fans lose all logic. Like, math goes out the window. Like, wouldn't you want Mahomes to beat Philly the same way he's beaten the Niners twice? Then that would legitimize, the Niners. If you ranked everybody, you'd have to rank the Niners probably ahead of Philly, because they went to overtime. Let's say it doesn't go to overtime, right? Hello. And yet every Niners fan that I have seen so far, they want Mahomes to be shot down. That makes no mathematical sense. But I'm a casual Niner fan. I don't really care. Going 6-11 with CMC injured for a good portion of the season, ending up 6-11, yeah, sounds about right. Ayuk, ACL, Moody was out for a bit. Special teams was horrible. I mean, like, I'm sitting here, ignorance is bliss sometimes. Like, I don't really have high expectations, knowing that so many people were injured. Trent Williams had no preseason, so he was a little rusty coming into it. I mean, people forget the Niners were a completely different team starting. Like, we had the running back, the straight ahead running back. He was pretty good. Jordan Mason, I think it was. And then we had to switch back to Christian. And then we, just all these, no Dray Greenlaw at all. No Hufanga at all. Like, I knew our defense was, pretty shaky to begin with without those two all-pro guys. So it's funny how fans act. But anyways, somebody is saying maybe Lindy, because having 2 small guards is not a good defensive look. Yeah, Lindy's not that much bigger. Who would you rather have get a stop, Lindy or Podz. I'll take Podz. So I'm disagree with you on that one. I can't believe you think Podz is really that bad on defense. He may be small, but he stays in front of people and he takes charges. Lindy doesn't take charges and it's kind of skinny. So he's a little bit taller. I think it depends on matchups too. But anyways, I mean, if you come to any of our live streams, I will point out a defensive mistake Buddy Hield makes like 2 times per game, easy. So that's, it's like I'd rather not deal with the 2 plays that Buddy's gonna screw up on an assignment. I just don't want to deal with that anymore. So it's mainly Buddy's defense as well. Okay. Oh yeah. QP fell so low because he was injured during his draft combine and his age. Yeah. Age and look. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Can sometimes hurt you in the draft. But as I said earlier, I used to follow Jeremy Lin very closely. I mean, to the point where, I knew him and he knows me. I mean, that's the one, I guess, NBA guy that I actually do have the phone number for. But we have philosophical differences, is what I learned. So that's another, I could write a book about that. To put it simply, Jeremy Lin is first and foremost a deeply religious guy, and then secondly, he's an Asian American. So I used to be first and foremost, my passion, Asian American basketball. So that's why I linked up with him when he was a sophomore in college. I went to go see a game. I saw him dunk in a home game against, I forget who it was. I think it was Dartmouth. And my jaw dropped. It's still on my Twitter, on Poor Man's Commish. If you go look it up, it's there. Or I live tweeted that game. I was like, oh my gosh, Jeremy Lin just dunked on somebody and nobody is going to care except me, because I'm passionate about getting an Asian American into the NBA. Now, he made his own way into the NBA. So congratulations, Jeremy. But there were not just me, but other people, Asian American people in the NBA who thought he could have a deeper, longer, more impactful career than he did. I'm not saying that like he should have gone with me or anybody else that I introduced him to or anybody else he ran into. That's his own life. But I'm just saying that we have our own opinions on that. And so anyways, the reason why I brought up Jeremy Lin is because he was a bona fide NBA player. He made it. He scored 37 on Kobe, right? Like sometimes the way you look and certain preconceived notions of what you've done, your resume, it just so happens that 30 NBA GMs feel the same way. It's somewhat discrimination, but it's there. It happens. It just happened to me last month with someone from the Warriors. So, I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't complain, and more so than anything else, it's like I feel bad for those people who have such a myopic lens of life that they would either neglect Jeremy Lin or neglect Quinten Post, or bully people, like just treat people unequally, like I've been treated many times by corporate stiffs. So I'm not here to name names, but it happens. And then the last point I want to say is, however, the NBA always seems to find you. So it still worked out okay, honestly, for Jeremy Lin. Now, it's debatable whether it could have been better. And me and other very powerful Asian American people in the NBA are a small segment would argue that it could have been better had we done this from an Asian American angle rather than a devout religious angle. I mean, go look up his agent. Go look him up. Still, the NBA still manages to find you. So Quinten Post, he was going to be found regardless. Now, the Warriors should get credit for being the one that targeted them, him being the one. And so we should. And today on social media, I'm getting stuff like, oh, should have played him earlier. I mean, that's their choice to look at something in a negative way. How do you know? You weren't with Quinten Post throughout. We have a video on our channel where Quinten, I have a Quinten playlist now. So here it is. And Quinten himself said that he still has nerves. He's too nervous. So what are you going to do about that? You know, like if he doesn't even think he belongs, then you can't rush that. I just wish I knew where that was. I just noticed YouTube's playlists are not good. Like they're not organized very well. They'll send you to a video and then put the playlist on the side, and that playlist on the side is not representative of the playlist because I know my playlists and it wasn't in there. But here is the video where QP said he had nerves and basically wasn't ready yet. So don't drink the Kool-Aid again for the millionth time. I beg of you, do not drink the Kool-Aid of social media and Twitter where they want you to think negatively. They want to bring you down because they're down. But we're going to keep it high vibrational here. Okay. Lindy was guarding 6'6" Edwards. Okay, I mean, yeah. In a vacuum. I didn't know you were thinking Ant Edwards. I'm thinking, you know, something else. Max Christie, you know. In a vacuum, I'd rather have Lindy versus Ant, but you didn't tell me it was a vacuum. Against Utah. Let's look at Utah. Okay, I'm going to indulge in this. I really shouldn't give you my attention, which is giving you my energy, but okay. Let's just look it up. Keontae George is on Utah, I think. Let's look at his last 5 games. 125. Okay, so he played recently. We'll look at the box score. Sexton, Kessler, Svi, Mahaliuk, Isaiah Collier. Sexton's the 1. Is Svi the 2? He's 6'7". And Isaiah Collier, 6'3". Oh, point guard, 6. Come on. So, so right? Versus Utah, they got backcourt of Sexton and Collier. I think I'll go with Steph and Podz for that. But okay. Versus other taller teams, Lindy. That's fine. Actually, I would go Moody. So that's what I would do to answer your question. Thanks for being on here, though. I will interact with YouTube commenters at least the first time, but if it starts to get low vibrational, then I'm out of there. We should start doing this. Okay. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's do some Warriors news, because the film study can get a little muddy sometimes. So let's go switch to our Discord server, which isn't available to the public yet. It is available to a lot of people on our YouTube channel. So if you ever want a chance to look inside of what we do here, be sure to interact on YouTube. That's just the way it goes. Today, news. This is the thing we're doing right here. Miami Heat are suspending Jimmy Butler without pay, effective immediately, blah, blah, blah. He walked out of Heat shoot-around this morning. Shams also chimed in, and so did Bobby Marks. He said Butler's going to lose $532,000 per game, or $2.7 million for those 5 games. And then the funniest thing is that Kevin Love and Jimmy Butler exchanged movie clips and TV show clips on Instagram. It was hilarious. The one where Kevin Love did the Denzel Washington training day clip, that was perfect. We got a Draymond Green and Kuminga injury update for Draymond. He will be reevaluated. He's day-to-day, and he will rejoin parts of team practices in the coming days. For Kuminga, he will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, which brings us out to what's 2 weeks from now? Where's my other phone? I don't know what I did with my other phone, as my main phone is being used for Instagram right now. 2 weeks is what? January, that'd be January 34th, which is February 3rd, February 10th. Reevaluated February 10th. JK to be re-eval Feb 10th. Now back to the Jimmy Butler thing. So lately, Draymond day-to-day, I'm putting notes. Kuminga to be reevaluated February 10th, or around February 10th. It's not always exactly the number of weeks that they tell you. So we'll digest Jimmy Butler for a little bit, but here's some news on Vucevic. League sources say that the Bulls want a first-round pick. Warriors have been at the front of the line, which was aggregated like crazy today. Juicy little headline there. Mark Stein provided the aggregator world, the kid page aggregator world. Let's see. Warriors have to date been unwilling to surrender more than a second-round pick, or a second-round draft capital, which could mean picks. They only have 2 second-round picks available, and first-round wise, technically, transactionally, they only have 2 because of the Stepien rule. You got to have a first-round pick every other year, and the Jordan Poole one got rid of the 2030 exclusive rights to that one. Therefore, we can only send out 2025 and 27, or 26 and 28. I mean, overall, I saw some kids' pages angry at us not using a first rounder. I mean, are you crazy? Are you crazy? And then they go, oh, but you could protect it. You could protect the first round. Do you think Chicago wants a protected one? They want a bona fide first round one. Of course they do. It's January 27th. It's not February 5th or 6th, and they're, stuck with him. The other thing is, it's not like they're going to lose him. If he doesn't get traded, they can still trade him because his contract is even more valuable next year because it's expiring next year. So I don't think they're in a hurry to get rid of Vucevic, and they could very well wait until the summer to involve him in a deal. But I understand why the Bulls would want a first-round pick. I mean, why not? You're the Bulls. You're languishing outside of the play-in in the East all the time. You have no chance against some of those other East teams. Vucevic is really second on the list of guys that they want to trade out, meaning Zach LaVine is like priority number one to get rid of because that's $43 million hole for multiple years. And so of course they want to seek a first round pick. I would seek a first round pick if I had Vucevic. I mean, it's just part of negotiations. So there's no need to get mad about it. There's no need to make up some scenario where you're like, oh, why don't the Warriors offer a protected first round pick? I mean, maybe they will, and maybe the Bulls will take that. But like right now, as of today, January 27th, I don't think it makes sense for either side to move on that. And besides, you want to wait until February 5th when you can possibly use Dennis Schroder's contract. And so I don't think Vucevic is worth a first-round pick. Like, heck no. You only use first-round picks for guys like Markkanen. Like, Markkanen is like 3 first-round picks. Like, Nikola Vucevic, 1 first-round pick for that? Nah. Like, I don't think so. And that's just a feel. I mean, I don't really know. I don't work for Mike Dunleavy, so I don't know what's the general market price of things, but I wouldn't do that. Like, save it up. Save it to get Markkanen. Go take another swing at Markkanen this summer. Save up your first rounders for that. Like, that's not even worth it. He doesn't move the needle enough. Vucevic, I mean, if he was a poor man's Jokic, maybe, but he's not. He's just not. So, yeah, I don't get all that. So we talked about Vucevic, Warriors being front of the line, only want to use second rounder. And I say definitely not worth a first rounder. Stop it. I don't even care if it's protected. I'll be disappointed, actually. Actually, Quinten Post is a reason not to get Vucevic. Anyways, let's look at some other stuff. I thought he was a savvy businessman. Who are you talking about? It's hard to read comments real time while I'm talking. You guys will get used to that. The mentality in the house. Oh, I'm trying to. It's kind of tough to stay strong when you got all these negative people complaining their lives away at you and on your channel, but I try my best to get through that. And each day that passes, the better I get. So I'm getting like 0.1% better every day. In fact, I almost feel bad. I was kind of like, I had to draw my sword against bogus apps the other night. I thought I was getting attacked though. So the best way to deflect attacks is to just not act like they're attacks. But I get it. I know that people who are angry on social media, they must be going through something. So, I mean, how can it possibly be that the Warriors would piss you off so much. Like, there's got to be something else. So I have some compassion for that, and I get it. Oh, okay. Cool, man. In general, for all teams. Okay, yeah. Bruce, someone the caliber of Tyrese Maxey for a first rounder. Yeah, yeah. Although you say Tyrese Maxey, but there's no way in heck we'd ever get Tyrese Maxey. That's a franchise player. There are certain franchise players that aren't going to move unless there's unless they've given it many years, such as Damian Lillard, unless they don't get along with the GM, such as James Harden or Jimmy Butler, then that can shake loose a franchise player. So Bruce is saying, told you. So I think by now, the toxicity of the Butler situation, and honestly, on paper, it's still, to me, we should try to get Jimmy without sending out Kuminga. We've talked about this many times. But the problem is now you have these Jimmy situations, and it all stems from not getting paid and respected. And the problem is that there's an extension looming for him. So you have to negotiate with him, and he'd be trouble in those negotiations, I think. So I don't know that you can negotiate with him sort of in good faith anymore, especially when Kendrick Perkins already leaked out that his source told him that Phoenix has a $120 million contract waiting for him if he could just find a way to get to Phoenix. Okay, so now you've put it in Jimmy's head that he's worth $60 million a year. I don't know that we can go and trade for that guy and that mentality. So I do agree that in real life it would be difficult to deal with Jimmy Butler's contract situation going forward because of the option and then wanting an extension after that. So, and he's getting up there in age, and then that's where I had this discussion with Dean Chambers on this channel a few live streams ago in the post game. Is like maybe Steph Curry, maybe the reason he said that it's not worth mortgaging your future is because all of the offers that they're getting for Jimmy Butler involve like mortgaging your future, like 2 first rounders, or a young player like Kuminga. And like for Jimmy Butler, I just sense that if Steph is saying this, then he must have had some weight amongst the insiders. It must be at least some partial reflection of the logic that they went through. So why fight it? Why be mad about it? It just is what it is. There's a bigger market to cultivate during off season. By definition, the trade market in February, in the mid-season trade market, is much smaller than all the availability that you could have. Now, things like this, where there's trade demands, can certainly accelerate a star moving to another place, whether that's James Harden, Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, guys like that. Those situations can be accelerated, but I mean, usually those things happen in the off season. All right, so we're going through news, and let's go back to Discord and just make sure we covered all the news. I hope I have enough energy to finish this. Here's GP2 promoting a local brand called Laces. I do not get a commission for that, unfortunately. Malaysia Full Wiley wore the Curry 12 Slam version. She is with Curry brand. So I guess that's Steph's news. Steph news. And was there anything else? Saquon Barkley, obviously, did the night yesterday. Everybody knows that. There was a blockbuster WNBA deal for those of you who are going to be very interested in the Valkyries. Seattle Storm trading Jewel Lloyd, who is a did they spell that wrong? Jewel Lloyd, is it just one L? But anyways, Jewel Lloyd to the Aces, and Kelsey Plum goes to the Sparks. I also read in a subsequent tweet that she had to approve of that, and she did. She's going to be like marked as a franchise player. She'll be in LA for a while. I'm sure being in LA was attractive for her. Cameron Brink is a Spark that's going to come back next season. And Cameron Brink was also in Paris to see Wemby play. So that all of that was happening just the last couple days. And yeah, so wow. Vegas Aces. I like Kelsey Plum, but I do think Jewel Lloyd is slightly better. But I need to watch more WNBA, and we will come April. That'll be a big thing on here. We're going to have Let's Go Valkyries. Let's Go Valkyries is going to be launched by then. Oh, here's something that you probably won't see much else. I was told a few days ago that Dennis Schroder's family is now with him in San Francisco. And that's good because, you have a family of 5, you, your wife, and 3 kids. You leave them for a while, you can miss them a lot. Here they are, somewhere in San Fran. And that's it. Oh, Sean Livingston, rare tweet, which was Bean Day. So RIP Kobe Bryant, obviously the other day. It's the 5-year anniversary of the tragic helicopter crash. Quinten Post supports his G League teammate Jackson Rowe, calls him a dog. Jackson Rowe, 31.5 points per game over his last 2 games. Now, if at some point it looks like someone might want to pick him up on a 2-way, then maybe the Warriors should sign him to a 2-way. It wouldn't cost that much more. But we'll see. It depends on the market. The other night, J.K. posted a picture from the Warriors locker room. Says it's cleaning day, clean out day of all of his shoes. So yeah, we got a lot of other news here that I just like to go through. Dwayne Rankin of AZ Central reports that Yusuf Nurkic hasn't talked to his coach for 2 months, or didn't talk to him for 2 months. We don't have a relationship. I was this close to sending this to Draymond, but I'm pretty sure he got it. I'd be shocked if nobody sent that to him. All right, and we know some of the rest of this little news items. Yusuf, the other Yusuf Wright, Steph's bodyguard, gave a couple of Steph's jerseys to JJ Redick's sons because JJ Redick lost his house in the Pacific Palisades fire. We actually have him and LeBron postgame right here on our channel. So they put that in the LeBron and JJ postgame. Talked about Steph, by the way. So here's your link. All right. And what else? Back to Discord. Man, I got to work on Discord. I keep saying that. Yeah, I got to really finish it so that I can give access to some of you. And that's it. So let's get ready to do some film study, finally. 45 minutes in. My fault. I tend to ramble. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, where's Quinten Post notes? Ooh, Lakers went zone. QP. Nothing until 3 minutes left. Okay, I'm good with that. I want to analyze the Lakers going zone against us, especially with Quinten on the floor. And that occurred with 3 minutes left. So let's take a look what I can find here. Three minutes left, first quarter, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should change my notes to make it more explicit that we have we're in the first quarter. Let's see. Uh, 3 minutes. Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. This might be a bad offensive sequence that I'm clipping right here. We'll see. Steve called timeout? I think Steve called timeout. Talk about it. Let's see. Yep. And they went back to man. And then it was a bad screen by Quinten Post. Okay. I saw a couple things that are very consistent with being a young team and getting faced with the zone. So let's just take a look at this, even though it's really not much to talk about, but it's just interesting to me how I think people forget that a lot of the time is that sometimes we have a young unit out there and they didn't know how to kill the zone because it's just not taught these days. You know, it's these fundamentals. I feel fortunate to have gone through a lot of that and learned how to beat zones my entire basketball career from an amateur level. But then again, it didn't always work either. JJ switched to man and QP set a bad screen. And we'll analyze this. So there was like 3 minutes, 10 seconds left, Q1. Okay. Let's throw this up on the back screen. And here we go. I'm going to step through this slowly because I can't just play the highlight. It'll get demonetized. So right here, the Lakers are going to throw a zone on us, 2-3 zone. Dennis brings it up. And Guy's going to run some action here, which is odd because how we used to beat the zone is you go opposite. You're going to play 2-3 zone. We should go 1-3-1, have a guy run on the baseline. But that's just not ingrained in today's younger generation. So Guy sets up here. I mean, this is smart by Redick JJ knows that this is a young unit other than Dennis. So Guy's going to pop out from the elbow, which leaves Quinten Post in the middle. To beat a zone, get it in the middle. And that's how you beat a zone. And then you spray out. But we're not even really in position here. And so Moody should hit Quinten right here, but he doesn't know any better. So we'll reset it back out to Guy. Now, Guy doesn't have the angle here between these two guys to feed Post. I mean, he kind of does if you lob it a little bit, but he probably doesn't have the experience to play against a zone like that. So then you do the simple pass over to Brandon, and then because they're still in zone, that's a hard pass to make to get it to Quinten as well. So Brandon doesn't really know what to do up there. So now he's looking for Dennis to come around. Okay, he comes around. And then at some point, we're going to call timeout. Plus, Brandon's not a spot up shooter like Moody is, and so he'll get the ball, and he's open at that point. And by then, it's a timeout by Steve, I think, or it's a kickball. How's it a kickball? Yeah, kickball by Gabe Vincent. So then Steve calls timeout, says, "Hey, look, let me give you a play to beat the zone." But then JJ Redick comes out and plays man, and he brings in Anthony Davis. Was he in there before? Let me see. Oh, he was in there. Never mind. But he comes out and he plays man. So that'll throw you off, and that's smart coaching. That's really smart coaching. And what's going to happen here is we don't even get the playoff because Quinten's going to set a bad pick. So let's take a look at this bad pick. Put it at half speed, and let's see if it really is. Yeah, well, he's moving his feet a little bit there. Oh, here's a replay of it. Yep, here it comes. Quinten. Watch, he's going to shuffle his feet on the screen, so that's a no-no. Yeah. So when you're a rookie, they're going to look at all those little footstep things. So unfortunately, turnover by Quinten. So kind of I admit, kind of a boring thing to look at, but I wanted to see just how we dealt with the Lakers zone when in fact we didn't. Okay, we got a few more notes here of what we should expect from Quinten Post the rest of this first quarter. We have he disrupts an Anthony Davis attack, gets an offensive rebound, and it gets another defensive play against AD. So 2 more good defensive plays. 2:35 to go. Let's look at that one. Okay. Okay. I know this is a very slow process, but that is the nature of the beast when we do film study. Especially when I don't have the funds to pay for like Synergy. So this is how it's going to be. So we are now at the 54:45 mark. And then is that 2:35? All right. Oh, actually, I should do this now. Analyzing Quinten plays. Okay. Quinten Post on Anthony Davis. This is actually pretty good tape. He's going to fight through a Max Christie screen. Run it. Max Christie, pretty good screen on that. So now Quinten's in catch-up mode. And lo and behold, he does a pretty damn good job of catching up to Anthony Davis. Davis has him on the side of his shoulder at this point. And he just moves his feet, and disrupts it just enough. I'd like to watch that in slow motion. So honestly, this is very impressive. When he shuffles his feet, he's such a wide base that he covers a lot of ground. So shuffles feet, wide base, covers ground. So that's some good individual defensive tape. Now, Guy fouled Jackson Hayes on this, so it doesn't show up on the box score that Quinten had a good defensive sequence there, but he did. 153 mark, gets an offensive rebound. So let's take a look at that. All right. This is more good tape. I mean, he's doing this against a perennial all-star. Proud of my kid. QP, I think I've seen enough. I think he deserves to start. He's being more physical than Trayce Jackson-Davis could be on Anthony Davis. And that just doesn't happen every day. When was the last time we could say that, you know? Zaza Pachulia, when AD was with New Orleans. I mean, been a minute since we said that our starting center could out physical the other guy. This is our offensive. Here's yeah. So this is just our offensive sequence. Quinten Post in the post is going to pass to Moody probably. Step through this. Nope, he doesn't give him the handoff on the split cut. Goes back outside to Dennis. Watch this. This is another impressive thing about Quinten Post. So we were at the 58-30 mark. QP, good roll, good physicality on AD. And this didn't show up in the box score either. Let me check how many rebounds Quinten had. 2 rebounds. So this would have given him 3 if he was playing in my men's league, because I would have given him credit for the rebound, but it was a team rebound. But anyways, watch Quinten Post retreat on the roll. Very good footwork for a 7-footer. Watch his feet. You just shuffle. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, it's a subtle thing, and it seems pretty innocuous, but like he's moving. He's not taking his time, you know, setting the pick and getting the hell out of there and allowing Dennis space. So Dennis drives, but good defense by Max Christie, who I'm sure Warriors fans don't give him enough credit. Max Christie is doing a good job for the Lakers. And it's primarily because of defense. So Dennis has to retreat. He'll attack again. And watch Quinten Post forearm the hell out of AD right here. I love it. I love it. He's going to forearm the hell out of AD. Look at that. Don't you love that? Yeah. Yeah, kid. Make it hurt. And it's out on AD. It's out on AD. So that's a team rebound, but really Quinten was responsible for that. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to look at your comments. By the way, my Instagram live died. It's supposed to go 4 hours because I have a whatever account, business account, and or creator account, but it died. I don't know why. "45 seconds left. He disrupts an alley-oop." Quinten Post disrupts an alley-oop. I love it. Boop, 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 boop. Nope. Right there. Whoops. It's hard to queue up. I just noticed something that I didn't even have in the notes. Oh, it didn't play. Well, my fault, guys. It's like, oh, there it is. Nope. Disrupts alley-oop. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I got it. It's a long sequence of misses by both teams. QP Post. I mean, I've seen enough. This guy is just very, very versatile. Maybe someone can tell me something that maybe Trayce is quicker to the block shots. Maybe that versus just a 7-footer in your way. But it's not such a huge difference so as to, everything else Quinten does just as well, if not better. So we shall go to the next one. This is a whole sequence here that I probably screwed up a bit in my jumping forward and backwards 15 seconds trying to find the right clip. But once we get to it, you're going to like this. It's going to be worth the wait. QP with create space for Dennis. Also breaks up an alley-oop. Gets assist to DS3. And all of this is with 50 seconds left. The previous one was what? 150. 235. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we can come up with here. Right here, it pauses. Yeah, that was weird. I think I rewound it after that, did I? Yeah. 50 seconds. Okay. Okay. He misses a 3. Okay. Right here, Podziemski got the steal. LeBron made a bad pass. It's just a bad pass. Podziemski got a steal, kicks it out to Quinten. Man, too bad at this point. At this point, it's a 1-point game. Quinten misses this one, unfortunately. I know you couldn't see it because my stream sucked, but we'll pick it up moments later, 50 seconds to go. Austin Reaves, right side, sizes things up, goes back up to LeBron. I think this is the right one. Oh, my fault. LeBron, turn over to Brandon. We bring it up. Brandon, this is what Brandon's good at. He uses his body, gets into the nail, kick it to Quinten. Quinten misses. Okay. 38 seconds left. Lakers ball on the miss. And moments later, pick and roll, Austin and LeBron. Austin goes away from the screen, is in the process of beating Guy. Pretty good job by Guy to stay with him. And he tries to lob to Jackson Hayes. And instead, as soon as I get my play button back, Quinten, with his long reach, disrupts the pass, and we go the other way. So he broke up an Austin Reaves alley-oop attempt. Now we go back the other way. I got to step through this. Got to be careful not to just play these highlights 10 seconds in a row or whatever it is. And in the transition, Quinten finds himself guarded by Gabe Vincent. So he takes him to the block. Let me post you up. Gets the pass from Dennis. And then he's patient. He's patient. Someday in the future, he will just attack the hell out of Gabe and maybe spin this way. But I don't mind what he's doing here. I mean, we got 3 points out of it anyways. As Brandon heads up, sets a pick for Dennis. Dennis leaks back out to the 3. And Quinten throws him a pass on that. And Dennis hits. And even on this one, if you look what Quinten did after, he hits Dennis, and then he goes straight back to the 3-point line, which most 5s do not have the ability to do. In other words, you're not going to see Trayce Jackson-Davis do this. Now, the reason why you can do this is not only because he can shoot, but it creates space for Dennis in case Dennis wants to drive. But Dennis chooses to shoot the 3. So you can see now, watch QP. QP backpedals, gets set, but Dennis takes it. And he still rebounds. Gabe has to, this is how you box out a guy bigger than you. You don't look at the ball. You just have to box him out, but he made it. So I really like what I see from Quinten. He's doing the right things. Just like Steve said, he's in the right place. Okay, let's catch up on some comments. Mentality. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, you're talking about Jimmy. My fault. We broke. It's not so much we're broke. It's It's just that Jimmy is not worth $60 million a year. He's just not. I mean, like, we could look at a BK ref to see who's worth 30 million at the right level. And one way to do it is go look at salaries. Where's salaries at? Season, stat head, coaches, contracts, player contracts. It's already sorted for you. $60 million players, he'd be the highest paid player in the NBA. And most people, I think Bobby Marks, somebody out there, maybe it was Jake Fisher, asked a few NBA executives, and the number they came up with was 30 to 35 million. I mean, maybe, well, Brandon's going to get a new contract. It's probably going to be less. Certainly not more than Jamal Murray, right? Much older than Jamal. So I don't think Jimmy's worth 40. So you got to get him below that. What a contract for Tyrese Maxey, 37 mil only. Yeah. Love you too. Jimmy right now is the 11th highest paid player. Okay. Yeah. No, they're not going to fire sale that. Maybe, I don't know what they're going to do. Philly is stuck. Good thing we're not stuck. Plum is a better player. Yeah, you might be right. I hadn't thought about it much. Myles Turner might be worth a first. Okay, here's my thing. He's worth a first if you can still have the ability to spend 2 or 3 firsts. So let's see. First of all, here's the tough part. I'm glad you brought this up, honestly. This is something I should put in an article. And I'd love to. Dean Chambers in the house. Can you hop on? So here's my thing. Taking a break from X's and O's, although I've seen enough, right? Actually, let's do a poll. Have you seen enough Quinten Post analysis to conclude he's worthy of starting? Yes. You may conclude the film study. No, show me some more. Or, I don't know, maybe abstain, etc. Meanwhile, let me discuss Myles Turner. In a vacuum, I do agree he's worth a first rounder. However, the problem is that it'd be hard for me to spend that right now because I don't have much first round draft capital. Now, if I were Utah Jazz, which I'm not, and they've got like X number of first round picks, yeah, I'd do it. But so we have 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, but not 2030 and 2031. Let's see. 20 is that 25, 27, 20, right? 26, right? See if I don't know that we need to. I don't know that we should use the 2025 because we might suck, and then we'll get a really good player. So one problem. Issues with spending first rounders. A, not in any order. 2025 draft is deep. So I don't want to trade our 2025 because we might get a good guy even in the top 30. Actually, Dean, now that I think about it, okay. And I'd rather not trade out the 2025 because it's an epic draft, is what Eric G said. Okay. And right now we are 11th in the West. I mean, it's really easy to check how we are. Just look at the league standings, and we are freaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We get the 12th pick. We're the 12th pick right now. I'm pretty sure you get somebody pretty good in a damn deep draft at 12. I really do think so. So I don't want to trade the 2025 pick. Okay. So what's left? Well, if you spend the, let's say, 2026 pick, then at the end of our draft, we can only trade out 27 and 29 to get like Markkanen, let's say. And I don't know how we would do that. I'm just saying. That actually would be a reason to get Vucevic. Like I said in the beginning, when Vucevic was even mentioned, I'm talking a month ago. If you combine, if Wiggins can get his contract value up, in other words, if he can play to his ceiling such that he's worth his contract coming up, which is going to be, let's take a look. Go back to Golden State. 28 million. We could go Vucevic and Wiggins for Markkanen plus 2 draft picks or something like that, right? That way you wouldn't have to trade out Kuminga. But you spend one on Vucevic now, then you don't have as many later. So then that's why you shouldn't get them. So it's tough. It's tough. But now you're talking about Myles Turner. So you get Myles. What if Myles' trajectory? Yeah. What about the trajectory? Not Myles. The trajectory of QP. Isn't it similar? So that one's a tough one. Man, I'm thinking, I keep thinking, if we get Vucevic, Dean Chambers, let me know what you think about this, and Bruce. If we get Vucevic, I'm thinking they're mainly looking at his salary to use in the offseason. Why would you get Vooch when we've looked at the tape. We've got a guy that can do what Vooch can and then some. And he's younger. Anyways, back to the Myles Turner for a first rounder. So like if we spend what's his salary again? Let's make sure we can find a trade. Oh, it's 20 million. And he's expiring. Okay. I think there was a report today that said he would want 30 million. I saw that somewhere, but I couldn't verify it. Let's click on him, actually. Go to the rumors. This is how you check. Right here, Joe Von Buha. I've heard Turner's about to be an unrestricted, and he's going to want 30 plus million. $30+ million for Myles when you've got Quinten Post coming up. Man. I'm thinking 3-team deal. Dean Chambers, I'm thinking 3-team deal. Vucevic and Myles. Would Indiana want Vucevic? Of course, we got to send draft capital out. I don't know. I don't know how we would spend the draft capital. This is tough because this is confusing. He's expiring though. $30 million. I don't know. We need to get Dean Chambers on here. So let's get Dean Chambers in to talk about Myles Turner. It's important. Because then, I mean, here's what I was thinking as I went silent is, okay, here's a problem. 20 million, which by the way is the same as Vucevic, but he's going to want 30 million here. And if we sign him to 30 million, I don't think we can trade him right away, right? So wouldn't you in the off season, would you rather have Vucevic as your contract or would you rather have Myles Turner as your contract? And you'd probably want to keep him because so when you sign an extension, you can't trade him for how long? Let's just ask Perplexity. Hopefully it's right. In the NBA, when a player is signed to an extension, how long before you can trade him? Hope he's right. Come on, Perplexity. Do me right. Okay, send the link to Dean. It's important. We had to talk about this stuff. Because the Myles Turner thing did come up today. I forgot to mention that. Forgot to put it in the Discord, but it's right there on Hoops Hype Rumors. I'll send you the background picture. There it is, film study. It's the 27th of January. Yep. Oh, it didn't come up with an answer yet. What? It doesn't know. It has no clue. Really? Really? Did it answer? Standard veteran. Cannot be traded for 6 months, right? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So again, the problem for me is to spend a first rounder. Because you'd want to spend it, you'd want to spend the 2025 so that you could trade in the offseason for some superstar, the 26, 28, and 31. Yeah. You could only trade out 3 first rounders if you trade the 2025 pick now, which is hard to do because this draft is deep. I don't know. If you're going to get Myles Turner, then gosh. You'd have to trade out Trayce Jackson-Davis because then you've got the same, you got too many players at the same position. I would think. Or Looney. Man, that's intriguing. So let's do a poll. I think there's two levels to this. Number one, would you get Myles in the first place? And number two, would you spend a first rounder? So let me combine that. Would you want to acquire? It's at 19 million. So Looney, GP2, and Gee. Let's take a look. Oh, we can do Dennis Schroder at the deadline. Schroder and 13, then we need 6 million. Man. Can't trade Wiggins. Can't do that. We need his defense. Looney and Gary, but why would they do that? So you'd have to throw in a first rounder. And it would have to be the 2025 first rounder. Would you want to acquire Myles for 19.9 million? Let's make sure we can add it up to 19.9. $17.1. Throw in Lindy, 19.2. But we're only 500 under the cap, under the hard cap, so that doesn't add up. 17.1, 19.3. And Myles is 19.9. So it can't be Lindy. We're not trading Brandon in a deal like this. We would trade Brandon for, like, you know, something bigger, I think, but not just to get Myles. Not worth it. So maybe Dennis. I guess we could trade out more. What's their cap situation? For that, let's go to capsheets.com. Capsheets.com. A little bit more accurate year to year. Or this year, I should say. Indiana. Okay. Total payroll 168. They're right under the luxury tax, so they probably don't want to go over the luxury tax. So we are gonna have to get pretty close here. Yep. They're a small market team. They're paying luxury. They're right below the luxury tax. So how would you make this work? Let's get Dean on here. Let's see. I don't think they'd want Buddy or Kyle, but let's see. If that could work, it would be 16.7. And really, we can't send out more players than getting back. Wow, this is tough. Probably need to keep Lindy just because of that. I don't see a combination to get Myles, guys. Okay, maybe Dennis. They can't take on more salary. Again, Indiana is only 130,000 under the luxury tax. I don't even know. How do we even do the deal? I can't combine anything here to make it to be 19 million. So I don't think I've concluded that unless somebody can figure it out for me. So I've concluded that there isn't a combination of contracts that can be done excluding BP, whereby GSW stays under first apron, and or maybe Indiana just goes ahead and goes into the tax. But why would you do that? You're so close. You don't want to be repeater just in case next season. I don't know. I mean, over time, can they keep managing that? That's why maybe it's a 3-team trade. Yeah. So because it's 3-team, I can't get into that. That's too complicated. So that is the problem for me. Unless somebody can think of something. All righty. Yeah, BP shooting well. Splash the likes. Only flaw has been rebounding. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. He's not going to get the benefit of the doubt from the refs. Yeah, you might be right. TJD block average has gone down. Huh. Yeah. They're respecting him more. It's just like when we don't respect teams with wingspan and we try to go in and we get swatted. It's starting to get cold here. Well, good to have you, Stray Studio. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but that's my heater. In terms of picks, we're broke. Yeah, I guess you're right. Trayce is too predictable. I trust his three more than the Trayce layup. I know, right? Dang. That is quite concerning, right? As we move on in the comments, because like I said, I can't find a straight up combination to get Myles Turner. It'd have to be a 3-team or more deal, and that's too complicated for me. Too biased. Better shot blocker and rebounder. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, the 59% free throws is tough. Dean Chambers. Uh-oh, mic issue? I'm still going through the comments, but anyways. Let MDJ cook. That's never uttered on any other platform, huh? Thank you for. Yeah, I can. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
We have someone from the Netherlands on here. That's crazy.
Oh, cool. Nederlander. Nice. I was doing some homework. I only hopped on for the last couple minutes. Why did Myles Turner come up?
Because he's in the rumor mill that of all people, Jovan Buha, which is a Lakers reporter. Wonder how that came about. But he said he heard that Myles wants $30 million next year. He's making 19.9 right now.
Yeah.
He'll be a free agent. So
A restricted free agent?
I believe so.
Yeah. What is this just contract or trade as well? Trade rumors as well.
So Jovan Buha was just saying that he might actually, Indiana might actually trade him, considering that he wants 30 million next year, and that's a little bit too high for them. Oh, is Bubbles backing up her truck there?
Not playing the piano yet.
Or
no,
Bubbles?
microwave.
Oh, Bubbles cooking pizza in the microwave.
Oh yeah, she's cooking a lot of them nowadays, for sure. She's not running around the house looking for attention though. So, not that she doesn't get plenty. She does. Oh my god, every day. But yeah. So Myles Turner to the Warriors. I think. I think it'd be an interesting fit because he can shoot threes and block shots. Which obviously the Vucevic thing with the handoffs and all that. Now, he's not the passer Vucevic is, or, the kind of Bogut type, of the past where you can throw it to him as top of the three-point center and he'll set back screens or, screens with his back and play make like that. But he's a lob threat. He's a three-point shooter. He's a shot blocker. So I definitely understand the interest there. But as you were pointing out, Rich, it's kind of hard to find a contract other than Wiggs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be Wiggs.
Probably what they'd want. Right.
Yeah. Although they're pretty good on wings. I think Benedict Mathurin and all that.
So they have plenty of wings. There's not a great fit contract-wise, and we have no leverage, right? Yeah. It's not like he wanted to come to the teams.
Well, someone's got to have to show me how to do the trade, first of all. From a transactional perspective, I can't even figure that one out. So, but I've been surprised before, so who knows?
Well, the Moody thing is interesting because it'd be 11 and a half almost, not quite, but 11 and a half to the Pacers, even if it's only 5 points.
Yeah, because it's the average.
Yeah. So there might be something there, but Moody plus who? Looney?
I guess I'm kind of late to these comments, but Bruce wanted to wait, but the Kuminga news changed my mind. Wait on what? Trade?
The what good news?
Kuminga news, which is he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, which is February 10th. Probably won't come back until February 17th. Oh, for QP to be on the playoff roster if we get there, just convert his two-way on the last day.
Oh, wait a minute. So, right. With Moody, you might want to check out Fanspo with this. They're pretty good, I have to tell you. I mean, obviously not being endorsed by them, but they showed that even if the salaries match going out because it's more coming back, we'd be $6 million or whatever the difference is between Moody's going out and coming in. So that won't work. Yeah.
Myles disappears in big games. Huh. I'm trying to think back to the playoffs. Huh.
Yeah. We have Steph Curry, man.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? It's point
Yeah,
Jordan.
I don't feel like he'll get $30 million out on the open market either.
Well, one interesting thing is a lot of teams just don't have any cap space. If he wants to go to any kind of playoff contender, they probably don't have any room. Maybe if they make trades, but right now they're not set up for that type of stuff. So
he can do it. Maybe the rim running is just slightly slower for QP, but
it's the rim defense for me that I'm not. I think offensively, yeah, but defensively, maybe not.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. Myles is certainly quicker off his feet. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, nobody's paying him $30 million. I kind of feel the same way. Wouldn't you, if you were an impending free agent, given the fact that the draft is deep and do you know for a fact that there's not going to be as much cap space? Dean, just go get your pizza, man.
Cap space. Yeah, a lot of teams are going to be below.
Yeah, so if you're Myles Turner, you tell your family, nobody say anything. Nobody let it out that I want 30 million. I guess there's no way around that. If that's really what he wants, then that's really what he wants. But like, you're going to shrink your market, right? Is that economics 101? Is that, supply and demand 101, isn't it? I'm not sure. I'm sure I could. It just doesn't feel right. Like if you let it out that you want 30 million and there's no market for that, that's going to hurt you, I think. Or would it just be the same no matter what? It'd probably be the same no matter what.
Well, I guess it's probably thinking about sign and trade or something like that,
Yeah. Anyway, we already saw the market kind of tank, like other than the Paul George one, which was available for Philly to do. They had cap space coming off of Tobias's contract. I thought KCP was underpaid at 22 million. I just felt that way. I don't know if that's right or not, but now that's looking like one of the top contracts that he was able to get. Like at the time, I'm thinking, boy, they're getting him at a good price, and then now you flip it around to the player side. It's like seeing Buddy Hield get. I know Buddy hasn't been playing well, but Buddy Hield at 8.8 million, Kyle Anderson at 8.8, to me seemed like pretty good deals. And look like more and more of these veteran contracts are becoming single digits or lesser than they used to be. Like seems to be a huge youth movement kind of.
Yeah.
And the middle guys are getting cut out, which is something I did see in tweets from very NBA economics sound people like Nate Jones, who is Damian Lillard's handler, not the agent, but the guy that works for the agent, and
right.
He was saying, yeah, all the middle contracts are just going to get wiped due to the aprons. And I think he's right in terms of what we're seeing. Like there's, the DeAnthony Melton contract at the non-taxpayer mid-level, that's a rare one. That's around, 13 million. And all those ones that are around that much seem to be going away.
Yeah, so I think that's actually not the best idea for the NBA. I mean, you're cutting out experienced veterans on middle contracts. That doesn't seem like the best idea. I looked on Spot Track, Rich, for their projected practical cap space, and there's only 4 teams that even have 30 million plus going into next season right now, and that's Pelicans, Wizards, and Nets.
Yeah. Okay, Bruce doesn't want any trades. You know what? I feel like I'm leaning more and more that way. But I still get your, original Jimmy Butler argument. I get it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be stuck with contracts that can't be moved, such as now that we talked about it. Like, I don't think Myles Turner is worth 30 million. You're going to be stuck with that contract if you if you agree to extend him to that. Like,
Well,
there's
I
only
would
one team willing to pay Jimmy Butler $60 million a year, and that's Phoenix. That's it. So
I would pay Turner probably $30 million if we didn't have to give up so much in the trade itself. I think, but all that combined, again, I like the idea of it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say no because I think the team could use some help. Yeah, from a player like that, tall, athletic, 3-point shooting, shot blocking player like that, no doubt. But I still think we have to make some move. You have to, you know. We're playing under 500 ball for way too long. The 12-3 start has saved us a lot. If we were 500 since then, I'd be fine, honestly, because he can go on another run. But I do think some move is necessary for the team this in the next 11 days. You know, can you believe it? It's only 11 days away.
It's a tough one. The thing that I think is unfortunate out there, that a lot of loud voices and Twitter fingers keep saying that, oh, they need to do this, that. I mean, at some point, somebody in that group of zombies has to understand how hard this is. I think this is a really tough decision. We've got a couple people in the comments that would rather wait till the off season. And I get that too. Because I was thinking today, Dean. So let me just put in the comments. Okay. Okay, here was my thought today is Steph Curry contract.
Yeah.
2 more years after this. Maybe we could squeeze a third one. So let's start with that. How many years do you think Steph has? Let's put it in a poll and we can discuss as well. Start a poll. How many more years?
I already have my thought. So.
Steph, do you think? Let me just type it in first. Do you think we have left? So let's start with rest of 2025 plus 2026 and 2027. What should my options be?
I want him to play as long as Duncan from college to the NBA, and that brings you to 2029.
Okay.
Steph played 3 years in college. Duncan played 4.
Through end of 2026, 27. The other option is through end of 2027, 28, plus 1 year contract. Let me fit this in the amount of characters that I get. Or the dream one, which is 20 through end of 2028, 29, which, like you said, is like Duncan, right?
Yep.
So now we're asking the audience here, or only here. And how should I word this? Like at this level, like knee bursitis, all of that. I mean, it's going to tail off regardless, right? I mean, that's
maybe just when
this is hard to say.
What's his final year?
Like I'm happy with this level of Steph in terms of a back-to-back. Most back-to-backs, you're resting, some knee bursitis issue. And how many games has he missed? Let's check. Oh, we can click on Steph right here. 37 games. We've played, we're 22 and 23, is it?
Yeah.
8 games missed. Okay. 8 games missed through 45 games. There. So we'll do a poll. Go ahead. Okay. So going back to my original reason for bringing this up, for doing this poll, is if the whole strategy, let me pull up his contract here. Isn't the strategy to win one more championship in, say, one of these 4 out years, right? And
Yeah.
if we think he can still deliver what he's delivering now in 2029, which even I don't know, like I am not sure about that. I think I can safely say we'll get the same Steph for 2 more years, just through this contract. I'll just go with the contract. Okay. I still think it's worth saving all your first rounders and taking a shot in this summer here or this summer here. So I think it's still okay. I'm still pretty confident that we can work some magic in the off season of either of these to give us a championship contender on paper. So in other words, I'm okay with not doing a trade right here. So that's kind of today. I might change my mind, but today, like we go 0-6 until we lose to Utah tomorrow. Maybe I'll change my mind. So that's what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is, okay, if the goal is to win a championship, and I think, okay, we'll get this level of Steph for sure through the end of 27, and then maybe start tailing off in this year, but still pretty effective, I think. Here, I'm willing to go, 3 years out.
I mean, you never know. You could have a bunch of young superstars and old man Steph coming off the bench, hitting big clutch shots like Steve Kerr in 99 or 03 or whatever. Not that he'll be a role player. So the basic thing is, I agree with you that if you can get Steph one more championship, that's that puts an end to all the questions or whatever. Not that we have a lot to. There was still a little pain after 3 titles, great as they were, but that 4th title that liberated the Warriors, I think, in a way, because 4 out of 6.
It didn't liberate a whole bunch of kids on Twitter, unfortunately.
Sorry?
I'm just saying, it didn't liberate a whole bunch of kids on Twitter.
I don't care at all.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm just pointing that out just to have fun at their expense.
Oh, I get you.
Anyway, yeah. That's what I think. And then we'll do a poll on that.
But the basic thing is, can we find a way to get Steph Curry one more championship run? And that's where
38, 39. He'd be 41 out here.
Yep. Yeah. There are a couple guards that play till 40, 41. A couple great players.
I think I'm with Mob Psycho. I don't know. I don't know about just giving it to the youngins. I think I gotta wait till JK gets back, man. I think we can make a run.
So do I. The West is not, OKC is a dominant regular season team, but the West is not quite as sewed up in the top seeds as the East. I think there's a good chance of the top teams just destroying everybody and marching their way to the conference finals. But I also think there's a good chance of upsets. And that's why I'm been advocating that, turn a marathon into a sprint type of trade this offseason just to see, because, even if we're the 10th seed and we make the playoffs, we're still getting an okay pick. You know, it's not a lottery pick. And we actually, unlike the horrible situation we were in last year, where we were the 10th seed, got blown out in the one postseason game we got, you know, no first round pick at all. Even if we make the playoffs, I don't see a huge amount of difference really in the probability that we draft a good player or draft a player that doesn't really turn out to be a starter level, you know, too much. I don't think there's a huge difference really, you know. So we have to think about the play-in right now, because at least the play-in gives you a chance. You win 2 games at whatever seed you are, 7 through 10, and you're good. 1 or 2 games, you know. But I guess the question is, without that being an obvious thing, how much do you ride Steph and Draymond? How much, you know, do you put on them after an Olympic season for Steph and after a bunch of injuries for Dray this year? And I get that. I guess I would just say he's not getting any younger. And that's the way I'm looking at it, both sides. And I understand all the arguments and everything. I'm not trying to make a drastic decision right now. Just trying to think of anything that would help.
So hard. So hard, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing is now that somebody brought up AimAssist is saying if we trade for anyone, at least get someone you can move in the offseason. So that would lead. This is something else that I've thought about that I forgot to tell the audience and you. Yeah. Is that okay? So based on that, just transactionally for contracts, Vucevic would make sense, right? $20 million. You could trade that. You can combine that with Wiggins in the offseason somehow. The problem is he would have to really play like a $20 million guy. And I don't know that our system allows for that. And honestly, I think our system is a detriment to the perceived value of contracts. But that's just kind of one of the Achilles heels of having Steph Curry.
Why? Why is it a detriment?
Because you're playing in a system, and unless you're KD, when you play in a system, your numbers go down. So Vucevic is not going to be perceived as a $20 million player this summer if he comes here. So I think that's a problem.
I don't know if I agree with that, because your efficiency,
tell me,
your efficiency and your value ought to go up if you're playing in a winning system, if you have less minutes, less touches, and all that type of stuff, right? So I don't think GMs are only looking at the basic box score or whatever. And I feel like Kerr's system has helped a lot of players. With efficiency and
I mean, Donte DiVincenzo is a good example.
Yeah, he got a lot of money coming off the dubs.
Who else? Wasn't there somebody else?
OPJ got.
Yeah, OPJ.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you dispelled that concern of mine.
Well, I understand what you're saying, though, too. I mean, I agree that maybe in public perception more, you could see like, oh, Vucevic fell off, but like he's playing 6 less minutes a game, getting 3 less shots up, and yet his efficiency or whatever.
But Otto got featured though, so that's a little different. But
Vucevic would be featured, you know. I mean,
I could see him being featured in the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah,
different game.
Oh, definitely. That's I have to say, Rich, it's a different game in the playoffs, and that's what I just want us to have a shot in the first round. You know, I just want to see Steph Curry and the Warriors in the
Every
playoffs.
time you say that, my pendulum goes back to so it's tough. It just, I guess, it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah, no, that's the way it is, man. That's the way it is with a good, talented team that likes playing with each other, but is struggling. And that's what we are. But, you know, you can get behind these guys. right? I mean, there's no sense from what I've seen watching them play that like that this is a team that has an internal problem. They're just not winning games, but they play hard, they play together, and that's an important thing. You know, I still think the character of the team, the chemistry of the team, the culture of the team is really, really solid. You know, just need to figure out how to win. And with QP, someone asked, do we have to make roster changes anyway to sign him for a postseason run? And unfortunately, the answer is yes. It probably wouldn't cost that much, but he is a two-way player, so you'd have to make some moves.
No, you don't. You just convert him on the last day. He's the 15th man, and it's prorated, so you can fit him in.
You can fit him in with the amount of money left?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Oh, that's great then.
Prorated,
so just play him at the two-way contract until
minimum vet contract,
March, whatever. Yeah.
Which is let's say it's Trayce Jackson Davis level. Divide by 82. Let's say, at the worst case, divide by 82. There's not 82 days in a
yeah, it's like 300,000 or something like that, probably.
Probably way less than that, because Trayce is what, 1.8 million. So I mean, it's got to be 1/82nd of that, isn't it?
No. It's a little bit more than that. The lowest contracts I've seen have been around 300, 400, 500,000.
No, but it's prorated. So you're prorating it to the last day of the season.
Oh yeah, maybe. No, well, no, you have to sign them before that. It's somewhere around March or something, I think, is the last day you can sign it.
No, you convert a two-way on the last day. We've been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, so that's how you. In fact, I don't see. I mean, assuming you can do that, which haven't we done that? Quinndary Weatherspoon, to make him available for the playoffs. So like, that's what you do, and you save a whole bunch of money that way. And there's nothing they can do about it. In fact, they're grateful because they're a two-way, so it works out both ways. The two-way contract is genius. Like, it works out for both sides. You watch Quinten Post in the Dutch podcast, like he's grateful just to have a two-way. So and it works out well, I think. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking maybe we should look at some other of these highlights. LeBron missed over Quinten as well. Yeah, there's more I could do. 1, 2.
I found this from 23-24.
Oh yeah.
Put the link in the chat there.
Hoops rumors.
Yes, this defense Steph Curry faces in his late 30s is kind of impressive.
Oh, yeah. Well, all this stuff, I mean, like, yeah, we'll figure out long term. Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, just convert them on the last day and make it a you just have to pay him whatever's fair. Can you use? I mean, probably be the same as Trayce. unless he goes gangbusters. If he goes gangbusters, then I don't know. I don't think there's any precedent for that.
We'll have to use the Gilbert Arenas rule on him. Oh, that was for a second round pick, huh?
Yeah, what is that rule? I forget.
It's the second round pick who's already on a full contract, so it's probably different for QB.
Man, there's a lot of little good notes on Quinten Post. I mean, I keep notes good and bad. He even had an inside post fake. Wow.
You're the chronicler of the Warriors, man. Every little thing. Rich has got some deep insight about.
Yeah, looking at all these notes, I can really only point out maybe 3 mistakes and probably 10 good things he's done that's not shooting related. So the things he did wrong was he had a bad screen. He got mixed up with Steph and there was a turnover.
Yeah.
And does this count? He wanted to come out because he was tired.
I actually heard that part at work, which I thought was funny.
We're like, no, you're staying in, kid.
Yeah.
No, but he did come out.
He lives.
Oh, there was a shot clock violation where he deferred. Yeah. So did Buddy. It's like, dude, come on. You can't.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it, man? Yeah. This team suffers from being too unselfish, which I love. Honestly, I'd rather have that problem than a bunch of shot chuckers and never look at anybody else, you know? But like, hey, take the initiative, man. This is basketball. This ain't bowling. You're not trying to bowl was it 300 in bowling, right? Never miss. Yeah. This is baseball. Swing.
You know, baseball. Did you ever think about that?
If you get a fly out, but someone gets on second base, that's a win. You know, pop fly. Sorry, pop fly, but someone else. Maybe that doesn't work, but whatever. So just go for it, man. You know, I feel like there's such an emphasis on finding Steph that sometimes guys on the team look to me from an outside source like they're worried about making mistakes, you know, and I think you should worry about not communicating and not trying hard. But mistakes, that's basketball, man. You know?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. I don't think people, the average, you know, fan realizes how hard it is to play with Steph. I just remember back in the days, you know, just playing with when you mix and match teams and you're suddenly playing with this guy or that guy who's won championships in this Asian American tournament, that one. It's hard to get used to that, you know, to give the guy the proper respect at the same time as, you know, not hurting your own game. So it's really hard to do. That's one of the things that's hardly ever talked about. I mean, we should talk about it more, especially, you know, we get more and more people that I talk to that it's always fun to compare like what we see in the NBA with what we went through in our own basketball experiences.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see just good play after good play. So I think Yeah. So what do you think about Quinten? Would you start him?
Oh, normally I would say probably not, but where we're at right now, why not? I mean, he's a rookie big man who teams are about to start game planning against.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
start doesn't really matter. Never has mattered to me.
Yeah.
I really don't care. So it's the minutes he plays. If he's good, start him. See if he earns the rest of the minutes after tip off. And
you know what? The first quarter was 26-27.
Yeah.
And
Hey, man, I got to say this real quick. We keep losing to the Lakers.
Wait a minute.
We keep losing to the Lakers, and I know that's a little difficult because of the LeBron thing. Anthony Davis is a guy that, like, he gets going for the Warriors, as a lot of great players do. But also, what answer do you have for that guy when he's motivated? Yeah. Honestly, I haven't really felt that way, like Giannis, Jokic, LeBron, Steph, but like Davis, when he's going, man, oh my God, he's impossible to guard or to score on, He's just an incredible basketball player. And like, I've made my peace with the fact that it's difficult for this team to guard him. Like, that's, well, all due respect to LeBron and the different coaches and Reeves or Caruso or whoever we played in the past. But AD is a beast, and he is very difficult to guard for anybody when he's going. So if we have someone who can help against Anthony Davis, I definitely think that is a sign that he can help against the other teams because Jokic isn't as athletic. Giannis can't shoot like him. It just can't. This guy's insane. He's incredible. I don't think a lot of people realize just how great he is.
I'm looking at my play-by-play notes right here.
Yeah.
I feel like that run-out turnover, Dennis to LeBron, 94 feet. Suddenly we're down by 11. Never recovered from there.
I didn't watch the game, so 94 feet turnover?
Oh, when I say 94 feet turnover, it means you passed it to the other team and that guy went all the way for
coast to coast. Yeah.
Which is technically he didn't go 94 feet. He maybe went.
No, he might have. He might as well have, though. Yeah, I can picture it, unfortunately.
So, I think it's a combination. Steph took a hero ball shot, wasn't good.
Yeah,
we were down by 6 at the time. Obviously they started going to LeBron and AD exclusively, which is their game plan. ISO them one side, that kind of thing. But we can't make these bad passes and have a run out layup again. And that's another veteran. Funny, my Laker friend Mark, I was asking him when we got Dennis, I was asking him about how was Dennis's tenure with the Lakers, and he goes, "Oh, the turnovers." So,
fair enough. I mean, I didn't watch him like that, but I know he kicked our ass in the playoffs, man. That's for sure.
And it's right there. So, miss a 3. We throw the ball to the other team. Oh, and then another one of our what do you call it? One of our under the radar Achilles heels, Dean, is the lack of challenging. And this was before, I think we still had a challenge at the time. Steph misses the scoop. It goes out of bounds. Steph is like, "What? How can it be out on me?" Okay, at that point in time, you need to go grab the ball, grab a delay of game, and give your own team time enough to look on the iPad. Just get the delay of game. Who cares? Grab the ball. You just going like this to the refs. We know these refs. They're Keystone Cops. So that doesn't do anything. And if he's probably purposely not yelling at the bench to do a review because he knows that that's, technically that's bad vibes when.
Yeah, everybody on the team doing that is not fun.
Yeah. So he's not going to do that. Steph definitely not going to do that. Have we ever seen him do this? We've never seen him, right?
We've seen that. There was one time where it seemed like we were taking a timeout to challenge a call Steph asked for. Yeah. And it turned out just to be a timeout. And that had happened before with the other teams. Most bizarre. It seemed like 2 challenges and they never happened. But I'm willing to accept with everything else Steph Curry does that he's just an honest, clean basketball player, Yeah. And he's mostly not going to yell at the refs, be a kick chair, thrown mouthpiece here or there, as it should be. But he's just not going to do that, Rich. And I don't expect it from him. Honestly, it's too much. It's too much of an emotional shift for me to feel like it's that important. Other people on the team should do that, though. This caution with challenges. Hey, you should use all of your challenges every game. If you lose a challenge, it's won. It's gone. If you win a challenge, you have to use it again. We should be challenging every game. There are dozens of games this season, or a dozen games this season where I don't remember a single challenge at all. Why? What's the risk? A timeout? Come on, man.
When you were talking, I came up with an idea.
Yeah.
Hire me. No, just kidding. Hire somebody. I got to do play-by-play, so you can't hire me. But I'd love to be paid more for that.
Little phone call, text.
Hire me to measure. There has to be. Talk about analytics. I think there's a next level of analytics. Here it is. Figure out a way to measure momentum of a game, because I'm looking at this play-by-play, down by 6. Steph makes a bad screen on Austin Reeves. It's the right call. But Reeves flopped on it. He should be called for a flop, by the way. Anyways, then we can't get a defensive rebound, and Braun scores. Now it's like, man, the momentum's really shifting. You have to measure the momentum. There's got to be a way to measure it. And then he takes a hero ball 3, no good. So then, then Moses makes up for, he helps us out here and injects a bucket after that. But it's like, and then Dennis throws the ball away. LeBron scores the other way. Timeout. So that's the momentum part. But then right after that, Steph misses a scoop layup. It's like he's now 0 for, say, 3 in the quarter, ended up 0 for 8. But then again, Steph can just make a shot out of nowhere. So it's tough. It's tough to measure momentum when Steph's on your team. And that's the part where the ball went out of bounds, and Steph couldn't believe that they gave it to the other team. And maybe at that moment in time, you go, hey, if anything, the momentum is their way right now. Just challenge it now, just to stop the momentum, or I don't know, because you just called a timeout. So maybe that's why.
That's too cautious.
I would
just do it.
Exactly. Because back in the day, I would like sometimes, because I used to score keep like 12 games every Sunday in my league.
Wow.
So eventually I'd see some stuff that's kind of interesting. And one of them was like, It always was the Filipino teams. I hate to say that. No, but it's like, any number of teams would have done this. I remember in my league, but they get off to a bad start and like timeout, stop a run, timeout again. And I'd be like, dude, in our league, you only get, I think we gave them maybe 4 timeouts a whole game.
Yeah, 1 a quarter. Makes sense.
We only, have 60 minutes to play.
Yeah.
So, they would be burning them early. And it's like, I think you should. And if you're ever left without a timeout at the end of the game, too bad. You played crappy and I had to use them.
Just play through it. Yeah.
Too bad. Don't play crappy. Then you can save them. I think also the psychology of it, Dean, as we're talking about this.
Yeah.
If they understand that I'm not going to bail you out. I'm not going to just save a timeout for you later. You suck. I'm calling timeout. And you're going to end up, you take the responsibility now. Now the players have more responsibility for playing better. Then you won't burn timeouts early.
I would say you're bailing them out earlier in the game rather, than saving it for when it's kind of too late a lot of times. You should never end a game that's within 15 points, win or loss, with a timeout left. And you should never have a challenge left to use. Never. Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. And that's just a point of contention I think you and I would make with respectful solid arguments to the coaching staff.
The thing that I think that is very interesting about this that actually works in our argument's favor is that psychologically it puts the responsibility on the players, because if they know they're going to suck during quarters 1 through 3 or early fourth quarter, such that your coach is going to burn those timeouts, you'll play better so he doesn't burn the timeout. That's like, does that work psychologically?
I think so. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like,
coach is going to use
most of the time. Huh?
Coach is going to use a timeout, man. Come on. He's going to use a timeout.
Well, I would love to see, the timeouts are to keep the same lineup out there. If you're out of timeouts, what are we going to do? The only way to rest you guys is sub one of you out. Like, stop playing that way.
It helps everybody. It helps everybody. It helps Steve on the podium in postgame.
I totally agree.
It even still helps out politically Steve. Like, he can go on the podium and say, well, I mean, I had to call timeouts earlier because we were just playing so bad. So what did you want me to do? And
yeah. And if you blow a game in the fourth quarter, we're
actually
not
in the NBA. In the NBA, it's separated. They don't carry over anyways, so it's the same. You only get 3 in the last 3 minutes, so you might as well. I mean, the other argument you can make is that, it ruins your pace, but then
what pace?
I'd rather, actually you could turn around and you could go, it ruins their pace, because here's whatever. Colin Sexton is going crazy and Keontae George.
Also, hey, real quick. Also, Steve is maybe the best in the NBA at ATOs. I mean, that is his calling card in terms of running plays. He's great at them. He's great at blobs and slobs and ATOs and all that type of stuff, right? So it help you get set up for the right offense, instead of in late third or fourth when we're down 15, do it in the mid-second, man. Why not? Try something different, Sorry, go ahead, Rich. I didn't mean to.
Well, bottom line is having no timeouts late in the game when you wish you had a timeout, but the reason is because you had to use them earlier because you sucked.
Yeah.
Or you were throwing the ball to the other team and it was happening over and over or whatever. Like, I'm totally with you on that. It's like, I think I think I'm okay with that. Just like, oh, well, play better next time. Then I'll save the timeout.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the mentality some of my Filipino teams had coming into our games. Like, it's like, what do you want me to do? You guys play better. Then we'll have timeouts later. Dang it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I love the fact that you said you should never have any challenges left. Exactly.
Why would you?
There's so many reasons to just use timeouts. Just use them. So I think we're gonna be completely all in on that. Me and you from now on. Every play-by-play, just use the timeout, man. Just use it. There's
That's
so
not
many,
throwing anybody under the bus. It's just like, hey, we think we have a better argument than what we've been doing for the last couple seasons here.
yeah. And
Why would you ever leave a game with a challenge? Why?
Yeah, yeah. And then the whole, you gotta prevent the 3 threes in a row. You just absolutely have
Oh,
to
the
do that.
hat trick triples, man, they're killing me.
Someone do an analytic
Like-
on that one. Like, come on.
The net is on fire.
There's got to be an analytic on that one. Teams that make
I
3
don't
threes in a
care.
row.
It's not working. Call the timeout, please.
Call the timeout.
Analytics are important to some degree, but not for your own team. You already know them better than numbers can express because there's so many intangibles. For another team, yeah. What guy should be on what guy versus the Lakers or the Bulls or the Jazz or whatever. Sure, definitely. But I just don't agree that you need to look at what your own statistics are that much. Like, you're in the locker room with these guys. You think the numbers know the conversations? You think the numbers see that, Schroder has his family here, and so he was a little hungrier during lunch and making more jokes? Like, no way, man. Don't worry about that stuff. I'm not an anti-analytics guy. I love numbers. I came up with, a little equation of my own that I like to use. It's not that complex. It's just based off the box score. I like that stuff. But that is not what determines – no statistic determines how I think about the team that I'm watching other than wins and losses. Plus, minus, points per game, VORPs, defensive box. I care about wins and losses, and I care about momentum and energy and focus. And I'm not worried about that stuff with the team I watch every day. I don't think it's, I don't think that's what you should use analytics for. I think it's a scouting tool for other people to look at other people's teams.
Yep. So, yeah, I would love to sit down with somebody on the coaching staff and just see what they think. There's probably a good reason why they don't do that. But why not just try it?
I'm sure there is a good reason. Absolutely.
Try it in the preseason one time. Maybe because the preseason's different where for the starters, the third quarter is really the fourth quarter, in preseason. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You're not playing Steph in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. So the third quarter of a preseason game is like the fourth quarter of a regular season game. Therefore, try to play the third quarter as if it were like the fourth quarter, whereby you're making all these mistakes. Just call some extra timeouts and see what happens. I know preseason's tougher to figure out that stuff, but just give it a try. Maybe try it in G League. Just tell your son to implement that, see how it goes. But you gotta try these things. I think in this era of the NBA, I think the timeout can be used more strategically now, especially to stop momentum. So figure out figure out how to measure momentum. Clearly, the 3 threes in a row, like some guy hits 2 in a row. I think that's a rule. You must call timeout.
Anybody, yeah, not just one guy.
2 in a row. Oh, them, the whole team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what about this? Dina Gone was like, there was a 7-0 run. So I think maybe the adjustment here is that LA they don't shoot as many threes. So if they go on you have to adjust it based on the team. So if it's the Celtics, then you can go based on threes, 2 threes in a row, which they're going to do a lot. But I've yet to, we only get to watch Warriors games, but I'd love to see them just try it. And then, so LA, the Lakers, if they go on they hit a 3 and something happens and then they hit a 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the argument that I can think of coming back at you would be, oh, but that happens so much during a game.
That's the problem.
Yeah. But but I mean, that can happen right after the timeout again. And then what are you going to do?
Call another one.
Yeah. Now you're really, yeah, I get it.
I mean, we're losing a bunch of games. What? Was it going to go bad? I'm not worried about that.
All right. Anyways, I think we've dissected timeouts to death. Anything else you want to talk about? Because I could go over some more Quinten Post, but I probably won't because I got a lot on my plate. So we can finish out here. What do you think for tomorrow against your Utahns? They pull up Discord in the background.
Let's help Utah get Cooper Flag.
Right? I know, bro. Yeah. Let's look at Warriors feed.
Go Jazz. Go get Cooper.
I hope so. Let's just go all the way down here.
We can get back to 500. Is that right? I think so.
Oh, whoa. Wiggs' wife, about an hour ago, said, my heart is really so full. Let me check Instagram. She give birth?
I thought that already happened.
No, because she posted a couple pictures from the game the other night. She's still pregnant, very pregnant.
Oh,
so
okay.
whatever Andrew Wiggins had to leave for, it wasn't for the birth.
It might have been some. Well, I don't want to speculate.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we know that wasn't. So she would tweet first before she leaves an Instagram? I guess Instagram's harder to do. You got to come up with a caption and all that. One new post. Is this? No. So that one's the old one. Yep. So she was very pregnant looking
Oh yeah.
selfie from 2 nights ago at Chase Center. Okay. Well, anyways, that just happened. So she tweeted, and her heart is so full. I mean, what else could it be? But can't speculate like that. No better. And Rick Celebrini in the house to see his son play. Way to find a day off, Dad.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Doc. Love it.
You know what's funny about this is so here's the Warriors, official Warriors social media, and they're putting a quote from Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
His quotes aren't that exciting. Saying, they've been stepping up. They've been playing very well. QP has been playing very well, hitting shots, making himself known out there. Even defensively, he's been doing good. Okay. Well, that's it. Who won between Phoenix and LA? Let's check. Here. Is this today? No. What day is today? Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, scoreboard. Lakers beat the Hornets. Oh, by the way, Cleveland Cavaliers already at 9 losses. Oh, well.
Only 3 to go.
They could still go 38-0.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, no, they can't. No, they can't. 33-0 is the longest winning streak ever. So
Celtics, right?
Hell no.
Oh, was it?
72 Lakers.
Oh,
Celtics. Rich.
I was trying to help you out. I thought you liked the Celtics.
I do like the Celtics, but come on, man.
Those 80s.
That was my dad's first championship team in California.
Oh,
first ever championship team in
speaking
California.
of the Celtics, the Rockets beat the Celtics in Boston.
Yeah, they've been struggling actually a little bit. Celtics have, yeah.
Championship wall.
Huh?
Championship wall. The Nuggets lost to the Bulls in Chicago.
That's crazy.
Oh, by the way, Klay Thompson, 7 first-quarter threes. In the first quarter, we got to look at that box score.
My man. Still love Klay, have to tell you. He's my guy.
And he finished 0 for 5 on threes, 7 for 12 overall.
Ah, well. Hey, man, he hit 7 threes in 24 minutes. First quarter, fourth quarter, whatever.
Yep.
What's up, RJ?
It's a spectacle.
2 point.
Oh, Utah's on a back-to-back.
Ooh, okay.
Please beat them. Actually, that's bad news, isn't it, for us?
No, we need this win. We need to get back to 5.
Exactly.
They
Like
need
all
this
these things, anytime the other team is playing a back-to-back, has a million people injured.
Forget that. We need the win. Go be
win.
more.
It's a scheduled win for us, and somehow we blow it.
Yeah, I know. We can't think that way, though, man. We can't think that.
Wow. First time we have RJ as the last comment. Usually he's the first comment.
Oh, you're right about that.
All right. Well, I'm done here.
Hey, man, we got some rain out here in LA. Finally.
Oh, we had a tiny bit of rain the other night. I was surprised. I came out. My car was covered with rain.
Your city's not on fire, though. So, got to tell you, that helped.
Exactly. Yeah. Glad you guys got some rain. Yeah. It's important.
Little landslide issues or whatever, but anything to help these fires go out, man. It's been
that's nuts.
There's like 4 of them right now. God, it's terrible. But
Really?
we got a little bit of rain, so just want to say,
good.
Hopefully that'll help, and we're doing okay out here. Long Beach is not close, but I don't know. Just happy about that. Very, very, very grateful for that.
Brew G, we're gonna say goodbye, but you got to stick around for the outro. The outro is probably one of the best parts. So,
Brody met Bedek.
Yeah, let's do the outro. So next live, actually, I should probably do this. Put it on pause. Next live tomorrow, which is Tuesday the 28th, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific. Hope you can join us.
I'll be here tomorrow.
Golden State. Oh, good. Good to have you. All right. Just us, Vicky, Rafia. Oh, and I need to add Steph Curry on the podium going, what?
That was a crazy. Yeah.
Today he came back. He came in today talking about how he got a new blicky.
For the uninformed, what's a blicky?
You don't know about no blicky, man. You had a blicky? You told me you had a blicky growing up.
Yeah.
You was a shooter.
A strap.
Yeah, that's a blicky.
More fire!
All right, Brate, everybody. Thanks, Dean. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Rich.